Hello, everybody. How are you? This is the Bro Plata podcast on everywhere that you can possibly get everything. And I am being very quiet because Tim, right before we went on, decided to have a migraine all of a sudden. So I'm just going to talk like Mr. Rogers this entire episode for Tim's benefit. And welcome to NPR radio, everybody.
It's fine as long as you don't say something dumb. Like so you were making these horrific jokes just to try. I mean, I don't know what you were trying to do. You were trying to get me to, I don't know, bust blood vessels in my eye or something. And I think it worked, man.
I like to make you uncomfortable before we go on. That's how the best radio is usually.
Don't you before, after, during? Yeah, just The only thing is during you make everybody else uncomfortable too. So there's that.
But welcome to the Bro Plata podcast. You can see this on YouTube, Twitch, which is Tim's favorite website. Hashtag cancel Twitch all day, every day, and the YouTubes. Share this out to your friends. Every video episode is available on our social medias at Bro Plata. Just check that out. Our lost episode is finally up that we did months ago, or felt like months ago. It's weeks ago. For one of the fights that we did, episode 56. So we've got all of them up there, and then I am finagling away to try and get our audio episodes up quicker. But that's just called general depression, everybody. I'm less depressed though today, Tim. Want to know why?
Why, Ray? Tell us, please.
I got a new job. Woo woo.
That's true. You told me this. You did, and I'm happy for you, man. That's good. But the only thing is, though, man, like now you're going to be a bit less depressed because of it, and you're going to be making some decent money, which is good. But now you're going to have a new excuse. You're like, I don't have time to do it. I don't have time to catch up on the episodes, right? It's going to be something. It's always going to be something.
Because it's if now that I have this, I'll be able to pay somebody to do it for me instead of the other way around, and we'll have Harrison working on it as well.
Harrison also has a new job. I just tell you that.
I just want to actually just not edit anymore. I just want to be a star. I want to be a star.
Yeah. Okay, number one, probably not either of us. But if there was ever a chance, we have to get our damn episodes up. So
yes,
it's that. Harrison has a new job too. But it was unfortunate for us. He's working like overnights now. So
yeah, we can still, but we can find somebody.
I talked to him the other day.
So okay, we can find somebody, and I'll figure out how to do that with them, and we'll go from there. But thank you guys for watching the Bro Plata. I promise you one thing: we are more exciting than what you witnessed this past Saturday, live on ESPN Plus. Oh, and also, real quick, I want to pour some of Paulo Costa's tears out. I have a wine here. Because, when you drink a lot of wine, you get dehydrated. And apparently he did not. He drank a shit ton from what I'm reading. How much wine do you have to do to realize, like, what kind of savage drinks as much wine where they can't do their job at the next day? That's bullshit, sir.
Well, if you're asking how much wine would it take to lose to Israel Adesanya, the answer is none.
Yeah, this is true.
Just going to lose anyway. You know what, dude? Okay. So what we're talking about is Costa just a couple days ago coming out and saying one of the reasons he lost his fight to Israel Adesanya, one of the best fighters in the world, is because he drank too much wine before the fight. Okay. Dude, is anybody on earth ever when someone comes up with an excuse like this, like, oh, that's what it was. Okay, he would have beat him normally. I like them more now. No one ever does. No one likes excuses. No one likes anyone who can't lose, right? When I say can't lose, I mean, he's a terrible loser. Who likes that ever? It's awful. Dominic Cruz is one of the best bantamweights in the history of the bantamweight division. He looks like an ass for what he's been saying about the Henry Cejudo fight. Still, that it was still Keith Peterson's fault. He didn't think he really lost that fight. But you watch it. His face was hit the mat, dude. What are you supposed to do? And Sugar Sean O'Malley. I like Sean O'Malley, right? I mean, I still think he's tough, but I like seeing him win. Now I just don't. I mean, after he said I didn't really lose to Chito Vera, I'm like, really? Because I saw it happen. I saw it. You beat your ass. I saw it happen. I'm not counting those as a loss. I'm actually still undefeated. I'm like, no, you're not though. Is anyone admire that at all? Anyone sane? I mean, even if you're a fan of heels, which I mean, they're fun heels. Kevin Holland's a fun heel, but he's not. He doesn't talk shit.
Well, I was
Well, he
about to
does
say
talk
Kevin
shit.
Holland.
Hold on. He does talk shit, but I mean, he doesn't. He won't. He's not going to make up excuses.
See, to me, Kevin
That's one of the
Holland.
reasons he's fun because he talks shit. He's pretty hilarious.
Yeah, that's one reason why I like him as well. But Kevin Holland to me would be like a shit talking baby face. Like you could never look at that guy because he backs up everything he does. He doesn't really run from a fight. Alistair Overeem to me would be a great wrestling heel because he runs like his life depends on it. And even in the UFC or even in Cleveland, sometimes his career depended on it a lot. But also your buddy Alan watching on the
He would
shout
admire
outs
it.
to the Allens.
Sure, he would admire it. That is him. I'm sure.
But no, yeah, that's dumb. Like it's saying you drank way too much wine the night before. First of all, the calorie count on a wine sometimes can fuck you up. But that dude looks like he could drink 8 fucking bottles and like walk down the hotel hallway. He's that in shape and that well hydrated that you're like, come the fuck out.
Even when Deontay Wilder did it after the Fury fight, you're like, oh, Wilder's really tough. We love him. He just got beat by a better boxer. I still love Deontay. What now? He what? No, he's bamming on his robot suit. No, dude, it bums you out, man. It makes you hate people. All right.
It should, and that also should give you some respect for the greatest box office draw in the history of the sport, Conor McGregor, because he really doesn't shit talk after the fights. He'll shit talk.
Man. He takes his losses on the chin, man.
Yeah. And that's something very admirable about Conor because of the fact that he is that guy who's like, oh yeah, I lost, but whatever. I just made a couple mil off of just my not wine, but whiskey logo being on the center of the octagon. So let's go drink. And that's what a fighter should do. Mental warfare should always be two-sided. And once the one guy loses that mental warfare, acquiesce and just try your fucking best. Just go to a different level, do something else, but don't blame your Pinot Grigio fucking habit on just because you drank fucking 8 bottles of Cabernet the night before doesn't give you an excuse for losing the way you did and then getting teabagged like you're in Halo 2 by your opponent. Like I just like, what the hell, man?
Yeah, I can't even love that sarcastically. Like no. I love Jose Canseco being my hero of the week for throwing a fight, which was great. I still love him for that. And last week, Ted Cruz for dipping out in the middle of the apocalypse in his state. That's still awesome. They're my heroes for that. But no, I can't even fake it for Paulo Costa, dude. Come on, man. Come on, you lost. Don't play. Listen, man. Yeah. Geez, that's ridiculous, man. And Dominic Cruz. And I was thinking about this. That was a title fight when Dominic Cruz lost to Henry Cejudo, right? He's blaming the referee. I'm pretty sure, like 90% sure. I know he was a replacement fight, but I'm pretty sure for title fights, both fighters have to agree on the referee. They don't have to get assigned by the commission. It's part of the negotiation. Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I heard that on when Mark Smith was doing the podcast with Joe Rogan. Yeah, they had to agree on it. So his camp said, yeah, Keith Peterson's fine. So there's no excuse, man. No one's talking about that shit. Now for some reason, there may be a chance that wasn't the case because I know he was a late replacement. But I feel like if they said, hey, Keith Peterson's going to do it, do you have a problem? I'm pretty sure he would have said, no, it's fine. And so there you go. And also, again, dude, to this day, I still don't think it was a quick stoppage.
No.
I mean, I think every ref would have stopped that fight right then. Everyone.
Oh, yeah. Chris
Tyone. Maybe not Tyone.
Tyone would have or Steve Mazzagatti, probably not.
Steve Mazzagatti.
Mario Yamasaki probably would have let it go a little bit too far. And let him go out on his shield.
Isn't the guy used to say that? He's like, I was letting her go out like a warrior. I'm like, what? It's not your job, man.
What's the worst? I think we've talked about this in the podcast before, but what's like the worst reffing job you've ever seen at an MMA fight?
I saw one online recently. It was a ref. A guy had a underground. He was trying to guillotine choke the guy, and the guy countered with the Von Flue choke. But you don't know what that is. I can't even show you what it is. But basically,
it's a beautiful choke.
Yeah, it's a great choke. But not everybody knows what it is. Not everybody really knows how to do it. And as MFA referee, you should know what a Von Flue choke is.
Yeah.
You should know that there's a counter choke to a guillotine choke. And what happened, this guy who was doing the Von Flue choke had it and actually choked the dude out. And he's saying to the ref, he's out. And the ref's like, no, he's not. And the guy just lets go. And the ref sees he's out, and then he stops the fight. You're just looking at it like, oh, he didn't know what the hell he was doing. He doesn't know what he's looking at.
They didn't check the arm?
No, he didn't. Well, he didn't know he was even choking him. He had no idea he was choking him. So his thought was, why would he be out? You're not choking him, because he didn't know what he was looking at. So yeah, that's a bummer. Because you believe, man, yeah, you don't want that guy. Also, there's a guy in Ohio that we talked about before. Drew Schottenheimer brought him up. I've seen him do some terrible stuff. There was an amateur fight recently, maybe a year ago, that he had a guy. I think I've talked about this on here before. He let an amateur fight go way too long, to the point that a judge was throwing shit threw his towel at him. They had his own towel for himself, and he threw it in the cage and yelled at the ref to stop the fight. It was so bad. We were all just going disturbing. Like, "What are you?" And it was an amateur fight, man. Yeah. Come on, you should never let it go. It was ridiculous. I don't know what he was waiting for, but yeah. After that, he got suspended, but apparently he's back. So.
Yeah, I think the worst, and he wasn't even like honestly, the worst reffing I've ever seen has to be Chris Taioni, and then my number two, the stoppages he's had have been very quick. Sometimes
those are just they're just judgment call mistakes. That happens. They happen to everyone in every single officiating in every single sport. Like this dude, the Von Flue choke guy, didn't know what he was looking at. That's fine. Yeah. Chris Taioni knows what a Von Flue choke is. All right. And you can't tell me that anything he's done is worse than that. I mean, yeah, that Ed Herman fight thing was messed up and it sucked, but it was close. I don't think he's the only one that would have made that mistake. So,
and also the guy from the Kutalaba fight. That first Kutalaba fight, that guy should have been killed. For what he did.
Yeah, well, when that fight happened again, and then it kind of ended the same way.
Yeah. At least, although that one was a more finite ending compared to like the first one. And then the one I always, it's more of it wasn't his fault, but it still sucks. Was UFC 210. On Dan Murgliata stopping the Gegard Mousasi versus Chris Pete Anderson Silva.
Weidman.
Yeah, Weidman. That fight I thought like meh. But after the replay happened, you kind of understood, but it still to me it was a bullshit thing when he lifted Weidman's hands off of the thing to get a knee. I thought that was kind of a spotty call, but Dan Murgliata is God. So
since we've been doing the podcast, we've talked about a shady decision that every single major referee the UFC uses because they're human, man. They're human. Yeah. Like everybody loves Herb Dean. We've talked about Herb Dean. We've talked about Herzog and the Goddard. Yeah, all of them. They've all made mistakes, big mistakes. Like Goddard missed that eye poke in the Stipe fight. That was a big deal. A lot of them, but they're still great refs. But it just happens, man. And I think Taioni just, they just got some bad situations, man. And but the Von Flue choke guy, I'll find that video and send it to you.
Yeah, send it to me. We'll put it on, bro. Check this out so we can talk about it. One of our segments.
Is that another segment? Like your segment?
Yeah, bro. Check this out.
Your segments are up in the air. My segments are great.
My segments are fire, sir. So you watch your mouth.
I don't know, man.
You piece of garbage. How dare you?
Do you have a bro check this out for this week?
I do not.
See, there you go. Garbage.
I haven't seen any like knockout videos that I'm really happy with. For some reason, Facebook is very sanitized right now when it comes to violence. Like you're not seeing a lot of it like we did in the summertime. But I want to just see people getting punched in the street and knocked out Seattle style. That's all I want to see. Because you know that rule about Seattle, right?
Oh, the mutual combat law, yeah.
Yeah.
We talked about that before. Yeah.
So I want to see nothing but Seattle street fights, and I just send them. If you're watching this, send us to our direct message. We'll play it on the show. Give you credit for bro. Check this out, because I kind of want to get that segment off the ground. That seems like a fun segment.
Get it off the ground.
Using corporate speak, because that's what I do.
I think I'm gonna look up, see if I can find any double leg locks, because I always think that's gonna happen. Because like a lot of times when guys working for a leg lock, the other guy can also try to work for a leg lock. So I'm wondering if they ever was like a race to the tap on double leg locks. I don't know. I bet there was.
Oh, you would imagine.
Match. Yeah, you'd figure. I mean, there's a double knockout. That's one of my favorite videos ever to this day. You never saw the double knockout? Yeah,
was that the red canvas cage?
I think so. Yeah, it's just two guys within the first 5 seconds knock each other out. It looked fake.
Yeah,
you know what? No, it looked too good to be fake. There's no way it was fake. The ref freaked out. He didn't know what to do. It's ridiculous. It was crazy.
If
you haven't seen it, look up,
by the way, is
MMA double knockout. What?
This cab is not that good.
Of course,
it's like
not.
Zombie blood.
Of course, it's not. We were talking about earlier. Ray said it was 2016, and I'm like, so I'm assuming you just bought that and you didn't have it since 2016. No. This is like the hardest thing for either of us to ever do, is to hold on to a bottle of alcohol for 5 years.
Yeah, no, there's no fucking way. I used to be that scumbag that would drink other people's like alcohol when I was at their house.
Having you over one time, and I'm not surprised by that at all.
I brought my own liquor to your house, man.
You did, but if you didn't have any, I could see you doing that.
Yeah, but I would ask. I wouldn't be like, "Hey, man, I'm just gonna drink this Sky vodka right here, and just that'll be the whole night."
This is a Tito's house, buddy.
Yeah, okay.
Tito's house.
I see somebody make some money in the house. All right.
Ha. Alan just said that's called Tim staying over. Yes, I know, but I'm allowed. Actually, there was one time with what was it? Rum. He got a special rum that he like ordered, and it was expensive, and I ended up drinking like half the bottle. I don't like gin. He has gin, and
how do you not like gin?
No, gin guy. I like two things. I like vodka and I like Jim Beam. That's about it. Like,
you're not a true alcoholic.
Oh no! Oh, don't tell me that, Ray. You're gonna break my heart.
You're not 12-step material. How dare you?
Ha.
I'll drink anything. I mean, if it gets me fucking drunk as shit, I'm fine.
That's coming from Alan Plus, the dude who has a full keg in his house at all times. Just always.
I want to go to Alan's house now. And just I'll bring a keg of my own. I'll rent one. I don't give a shit. Can you rent or own kegs in the state of Ohio?
You rent them, right? You buy them, and you have to bring the keg back, I believe.
So stupid.
I don't know. At one point, I knew that like if you scrap the keg, it would actually give you more money than your deposit. I don't know if that's still a thing or not. It used to be a thing.
Alan's mad at you. Alan is very mad at you.
Well, I think he's mad at me every day. You know what? That guy sent me a video at like 8 this morning.
Are you his Ray Highclack? Because are you his Ray?
No, it's not that bad. Jeesh, man. Jeesh. No, something completely different. I was Tim Danko. Anyway, he sent me a video 8 in the morning of like some guy making sausage out of ravioli. Apparently, this guy just does videos like Willet sausage.
Keg deposits are $30.
Well, deposits, you get them back. Yeah, he's talking about that Willet sausage guy. Yeah, that's.
I could see that being something fun.
I only watched the one.
Somebody make sausage.
A guy made sausage out of the meat in ravioli, in like the canned ravioli. Like he got the meat out and made a sausage out of it.
What? Chef
See, look,
Boyard.
now you're intrigued. There you go.
Yeah, I want to watch that. Alan, friend me on Facebook and send me all the videos.
It's not on Facebook.
Okay, Instagram or one of those.
I'll send you the link later.
But
he's not on anything. He's not on anything. He's on YouTube. That's it. Look, he's on YouTube right now.
Well, that's a good thing. We appreciate his patronage. And share our video out. Share our video out somehow. Text it to somebody.
Alan doesn't have friends. I'm Alan's friends.
Okay. That's fair. That's fair.
And I think we're gonna start doing another. I told you this another podcast. I talked to Harrison about
Yeah.
it. We're gonna do one.
All
right, so time for Hero of the Week yet?
Yeah, we can go to Hero of the Week.
Thumbs down, guys. See,
it's on you. I'm gonna blame you on this one.
Ray is well aware of the thumbs down guy because he gets it just as much as Alan does, and now Alan sends it back just as much. And yeah, I started something. It's great. I love it though. The thumbs down guy, GIF is the best. If you don't know what I'm talking about the old Mets fan for a couple years ago, the thumbs down guy.
That is one of my favorite. When you started sending me that GIF, I not only wanted to know the backstory of what that was, but also know that man is a complete and utter. Did you share the thumbs down guy upside down?
Oh yeah, no. Yeah. Alan took a screenshot of it and then flipped it upside down, so that's now his thumbs up. Yeah, we're just having a private friend conversation. It's okay. This is fun. This is what we do anyway. It's basically the whole show. Basically the whole show.
What makes the Bro Plata the best.
I think
podcast.
We're explaining all the inside stuff. It's good. It's fine. It's not a big deal.
Well, then it can all become a thing with everybody else.
The thumbs down guy. Can you get a picture of him so people know what we're talking about? Because I feel like we said it too much to not get it. But when you look for it, I will tell you the story. So there's this guy a couple years ago. The Tampa Bay Rays had to play some home games away from home because of the hurricane. So they ended up playing at the Met Stadium in Queens, and they ended up playing the Yankees there. So there's actually a Rays home game, quote unquote home game against the Yankees, but it was really in the Met Stadium. But there's a guy who I think is a season ticket holder for the Mets who bought tickets to that game, put on the closest thing he could find to a Rays colored shirt, this blue shirt, and his suspenders, and just sat in the front row. And anytime the Yankees did anything positive, he would just stand up and straight faced thumbs down. And he made like top 10 ESPN. I remember watching ESPN Sports Center when that happened. I'm like, this guy's amazing. And then the Yankees actually ended up flipping on it and ended up like the whole year. That was anytime they get a base hit, they do this to the dugout, the thumbs down. They kind of turn it on his head and use it like for something for them. But it was great. And you just look at this guy, and it's just a fantastic picture. Did you find it?
Yeah. Hold on.
This guy has. I looked this up. There's T-shirts. There's bobbleheads. This guy's a bobblehead.
Oh God.
Yeah, I'd love to see me upside down guy. A thumbs down guy bobblehead.
Let me add it to our branding because that's where you gotta go. Boo 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 doo.
We didn't even call Harrison. This is why we need Harrison.
Yes.
Darn Harrison getting a job at Sheets. Come on, man.
At Sheets?
Yeah.
Oh my God, the one in Kent?
I'm assuming. I didn't ask him, but he lives right by there. I'd hope it'd be that one.
There's two in Kent, so technically I can say that.
I hope it's the one by his house because it's right there.
I like it. Let's. Here it is.
There we go. There he is. There's thumbs down guy. Thumbs down guy.
It's so good. I love.
And he's surrounded by Yankees fans, which is also great.
He looks like the kind of guy who would troll, and I think we're gonna keep that every time you neg it or you don't like what I say. We'll just put this up as
that. Now that's a great troll. That's not an internet troll. That's an in-person troll.
Oh yeah,
being there, and it's not too bad. He just did thumbs down. He paid money. He bought a ticket, a good seat at this stadium, right? Yeah. Front row seat to that Rays game, and at least somebody was pulling for the Rays because obviously there weren't a lot of Rays fans at that game because it was in New York. So
one of my favorites was actually, let's see what Alan said, by the way. It's beautiful. Yes, it is, Alan.
It is. Thumbs down, guys, the best. The reason I remember that, guys, because Alan sent me just an emoji or something of a thumbs down, and I'm like, thumbs down. I'm like, oh, I forgot about the thumbs down guy. So I looked up, and there happened to be plenty of GIFs of the thumbs down guy.
That's funny. Yeah, that's when you started sending me that is just like a way to disapprove of everything I text you, including music videos that you need to watch.
Yeah, I don't watch.
Because you need to be cultured, Tim Danko. You need culture in your life. With bands like Guar and
I don't need to be a juggalo. I don't need to be a juggalo. Right.
The juggalo music, yes. You always go for the juggalo music. Why? Because it's fun.
Because that's the funniest one to go after. That's fine. You can go after my Creed fandom all you want. If you want to go after my Bowling for Soup fandom, do it now because Alan's on my side on this. So,
but no, that's the thing. Like, I love those bands too. Like, I like Creed. We've talked about Scott Stapp, and I think it was on the last episode. We mostly talked about music, which I enjoyed.
90% music.
Speaking of culture, how do you say gift? Now, how do you say GIF?
What was I saying? GIF? GIF?
I don't know.
GIF.
He was probably fucking with you.
I don't know. It's fine. GIF. I don't care.
But
lube. I don't know.
Let's do this.
Here we go. But this is a segment. This is a real segment. All right. First of all, hero of the week. Who's going to join? Who do we have so far? It's Jose Canseco, Julian Marquez, and then Ted Cruz.
Yeah.
All right. So I got some honorable mentions first. Let's go through those. Honorable mention number 1 was Paulo Costa for that reason. Exact reason. The whole wine thing. I drank too much, bro, so I couldn't beat one of the best fighters in the world. Yeah, that's what it was, brother. Okay. Also, another hero of the week. Anytime we have a fighter on the show, he also always jumps up to one of our favorite fighters, right? Also, always. Anytime we have somebody on, we love them. So they're on. Hunter Watt won last week. He had a fight Saturday. Yeah. An amateur fight. He went all the way to Bowling Green, Kentucky, which is like 6.5 hours away. I've been to Bowling Green, Kentucky once. I believe I was there with Alan on our way to Nashville. It's closer to Nashville than anything else. He won by decision. Apparently that video is going to be on YouTube in a couple of weeks. We'll watch it when that comes out. We'll give a full breakdown. Yeah, and then another guy from Route 250 MMA is fighting next month. Brogan Enders is fighting next month in Indiana. Yeah, in Indiana. So that'll be fun.
Our most popular episode ever, by the way.
Should be the John Gunther episode. I love Brogan, but John Gunther episode, man, that's the shit.
Yeah, we need to get that when it comes to listens on like our podcasting stuff, which we will be moving over as well. I figured out something. I talked to somebody who is in the podcasting community about different things, and
there's a community.
There is.
Are there mixers?
There might be digital mixers, believe it or
digital?
not.
No,
yeah, there might be like Zoom mixers now.
The spread, you know.
You have to bring your own.
Oh, come on, man.
It's always dip though. People always bring fucking dip. It's bullshit.
Just dip.
Just dip. Right. They just look at it. Nobody touches it.
That's awful. Now what? Okay, whatever. We'll figure that out.
But yeah, no, I've talked to a friend of mine who about some other platforms, and I'm going to be looking into other platforms for us that we have to pay for. But now that I have a job, I can pay for these without a problem.
We're paying for this.
Well, but this is for our audio streams, sir, to get it out to more people. And
we have it on 13 platforms. How many more than
but we don't have any sponsorships for fucking shit.
That's because we suck.
Oh, come on. We rule. We're amazing. We're fantastic.
We may be perfect, but not enough people are listening, man.
I'm aware.
Oh, my God. You know why? Because your fucking episodes are up.
True.
Raymond. All right. Anyway. Where was it? Oh, yeah. Honorable mention number 3. Post Malone. Listen, man. Post Malone. You hear Post Malone's cover at Hootie and the Blowfish?
No, but I heard that it exists.
Yes, it exists. And okay. The only thing I don't like about it is what I hate about a lot of modern music is that it's like super, super auto-tone, like hard auto-tone, like a robot voice auto-tune. Robot voice auto-tune. I don't like that at all. If you're gonna sing, just sing it. It's fine. Maybe just a little. I can handle maybe a little bit, but not so much. It sounds like I said, like a robot voice, or I don't know. Eventually, there's not going to be anyone singing anymore. It's just going to be people. I don't know, talk boxing. That's it. No more singing, just talk boxes. Anyway, besides that, I like the cover. It's a great song. He doesn't ruin it. He does fine. He does a good job. What I really like is he's a young guy. He has young fans, and now he's going to put that song out there, and his young fans are going to listen to the song and be like, "Hey, this is a good tune. Maybe I'm going to check out this Hootie and the Blowfish because they have a lot of bangers." He did "Only Want to Be With You," which is one of their many bangers. A lot of bangers. All right, so I don't hate this cover. I actually like that he did it. Right, you can't outdo Hootie, but I don't think he was trying to. It's impossible. I think he knows that. He's a smart guy. He knows that. That's all right. That's that. You get some credit for just doing a Hootie song, and then what is that?
Covered Wood
Oh, no.
AIC. I've not
Which
heard
one?
that.
Which one? Which Alice in Chains song did they cover?
But
Anyway,
I liked Post Malone's stuff when he was doing Nirvana. I thought that was pretty good. It's weird. Have you noticed in music now? And I know we talked about music last episode, but like a lot of the white rappers are starting to get into like rock and roll and like pop punk again. Like MGK released a whole like rock album.
again,
Post Malone starting to
too
do
much
rock
auto-tune.
again. It's weird.
Yeah,
It's
well, I mean, I like
strange
what
to
they're
me.
doing. I like that they're doing it, as I don't want rock and roll will never die, Raymond. But it's nice to see that happen. I guess I don't know if pop punk comes back strong a little sooner than we thought it would. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Dude, I mean, dude, I grew up on pop punk, so when I was in high school, pop punk was huge. So, don't you make that face? You get out of here, Ray. Get out of here and go listen to some Simple Plan, you douchebag.
I didn't listen to it. There was one Simple Plan song that I knew offhand, and that was because they would storm into parties like their name was El Nino, yo.
That's Sum 41, you dick.
Again, yeah, that's why.
Get out of here. Fail.
I hated Good Charlotte, by the way.
Ray,
Fucking
Ray,
despised Good
I'm
Charlotte.
just mad about the whole Sum 41 thing you fucked up. I think I need a new poke. I need a new co-host. I'll take anybody at this point.
I was listening.
Anyway, man, let's get off this before I get pissed at you. Okay, here we go. My actual hero of the week, right, is a guy named David Wenzel.
Okay.
On, that's it. That's all I got. No, David Wenzel. This guy is from the Czech Republic. This guy just broke the world record for swimming under an icy pond. He did it. He broke didn't John Gunther tell us he did that? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So number one, it's like you drill one hole in the ice and another hole in the ice, and then you just it's ridiculous. Why do you do that? It's really idiotic thing to do, and it'll probably will kill you. And this guy's like, you know what? Not only am I going to do it, I'm going to be the best at it. And he broke the record. He did I think a minute and a half, and he did 265 feet, beating the old record of 250 feet. This guy's insane, but he's the best insane, right? If you're going to be an idiot, be the best idiot. So here it is, David Wenzel of the Czech Republic. You're the hero of the week, my man. Hero of the week.
I'm gonna pick a hero of the week myself since we're
that's
talking
not your. You can't fucking hijack my segment.
Fine. Okay.
You can, but it's kind of lame, man. It's lame that you're gonna hijack my segment.
It deals with ice water, and all that kind of stuff. Because
is this the old guy?
No, did you see? And this kind of goes with UFC 259.
Oh, Jan Blachowicz.
Jan Blachowicz just chilling in ice water. And I'm like, that is the Polish way, sir. Like, that is the best shit. A buddy of mine sent me the video off of the Facebook, and I watched it, and it took me back to track practice my senior year. Our sprinting coach actually made us do ice baths after practice all the time.
Well, I think it's mandatory now for summer sports, like football. It's like mandatory because
I would imagine
people are dying from heat exhaustion or whatever. They say a lot of times when they die from that, they say that if you would have done an ice bath, you would have been saved. So it's kind of ridiculous.
Thank you, Alan. By the way, we want to put this up. We are the best, and we know it.
You have to go. You're not doing shit. We all know you're not doing anything. Your kid's in bed. You're not doing anything.
He's got a job, Tim. Something you don't have.
It's 8:00, and he does his job in his pajamas. So.
Well, I mean, there's times where you got to do what you got to do as a parent. I always like that kind of stuff. And there was a guy on Ripley's Believe It or Not years ago that kind of showed how you do that kind of stuff, where it's about like your breathing and really just controlling everything in a cold environment. Where you can do that kind of stuff,
shit, whatever that weird shit he does.
The Win-Hof method, or sometimes
mind over matter shit, whatever. Anyway, man, stop trying to hijack my segments. All right,
I will.
Segment.
I will make sure that I hijack everything you do, sir.
Well, I mean, you are on my podcast, so
yeah, it is because it's Tim Danko first. Oh man, but yeah, dude, like this week has been for MMA in general. And we'll talk about this right now. It's been sort of a slow week. We did with the Angela Hill fight dropped off. as we were on the podcast talking about it. Or no, it came out the day of the fights, because we had our episode on Friday. We were looking forward to Angela Hill fighting on 7 days notice. And due to Yana's team, Kunitskaya, one of their team got the vid, man. What'd you think about that?
Angela Hill was supposed to fight Ashley Yoder, so I don't know what you're talking about.
I thought, oh no, Yana Kunitskaya was going to fought last week. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, or 2 weeks ago. That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, I mean, no, we talked about this card being a clunker, and it was. That will just happen sometimes, I guess. I mean, most of the time it doesn't happen. And even Dana White wasn't happy about it. Well, just what happened was none of the fights were decisions, all but one. There was 9 fights. There was one finish. That was Robert Lawrence, and he looked great.
To me, I actually watched that finish.
Mm-hmm.
And like, even like this card was so boring on a fight level, where it was technical, a lot of standoffs and shit, but like even that knockout kind of just seemed like meh. You know,
well, if it was on the last card when there was a bunch of finishes, it would have been. Well, the thing is, Ronnie Lawrence destroyed that. He dominated that whole fight and just ended up getting the finish at the end there. But he looked good the whole time. He looked really good the whole time. But no, it wasn't like a flash knockout, not a big knockout.
No,
it was TKO because he had to pin down the entire fight and finally got him in a bad spot, and the guy had too much, and they ended up stopping the fight eventually. But there was only 9 fights on this card to begin with.
Yeah.
And then 2 fell off really quick. The Cowboy Oliveira fight and the Hill Yoder fight. Yeah, both got pulled really quick. And those are exciting fighters, Hill and Cowboy. So that's a bummer. That doesn't help the card. Already they're at a disadvantage. We had 9 fights. But then, yeah, the only fight that was really exciting was the Munoz and Rivera fight.
That was a fantastic fight.
They almost always give $200,000 in bonuses away, but they only gave $150 because no one else really deserved it other than Munoz and Rivera. And Dana White loves Roddy Lawrence. He's been talking him up forever, ever since they signed him. So he got a finish, and then he also he got a bonus too. That guy's like full pedal to the metal guy. He's like a Ricky Simone type. He just like full go the whole time.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. 100 the entire time, which is good. I mean, it's fun to watch him. It'd be cool to see him fight somebody like, not going to fight Ricky Simone because that wouldn't make sense at all. I don't think they're even in different weight classes. But maybe they're not. But either way, it wouldn't make sense. But just other guys that have motors like that, and it would be cool to see him fight somebody like that. I don't know. I'm sure there's a lot of guys they can match him up with, and they will. That's when things get really interesting, right? When they have before guys get in the top 15, they have all these matchups they can go. I mean, they have 500 fighters. Right? It's crazy how many matchups they can do with some of these.
Oh yeah, there's a lot. I mean, that's the one thing I love about MMA compared to other sports is like you have options more than just like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to like fighters that you want to see. Yeah, it's there's a lot. There's just so many fighters in.
It was a weird way to say it, but I know what you meant.
Yeah,
there's not 32 teams. Yeah, there's not 32 fighters. Right? There's
there's options of guys, right. And there's always excitement and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, this fight. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I spent a lot more time on my cell phone during this card, except for maybe, like I said, Jimmy Rivera. Let's look at a couple other fights that I was kind of paying attention to, because this was one of those, like, I mean, the Nikita Krylov versus Magomed Ankalov was a good fight. Montana De La Rosa versus Myra Bueno Silva.
Yeah,
that was to me the highlight of the card, just because of everything that went wrong with, like, in the first round. I was going to say
that was the second best fight in the card, I think, next to the Munoz Rivera fight. Yeah, that one was weird, right? But they took point right away for the cage grab, which they should.
Yeah,
I think they should. We've talked about it a bunch of times. They don't take away points enough. They give too many warnings on stuff. I mean, you say, okay, it prevented a takedown, so automatic points taken away. Okay, that's fine. But like, if you get somebody in the eye, like, what if someone has you against the cage and is about to finish you, and you just stick your finger out there and jab them in the eye and stop them from finishing you, and it's the first time you did it.
Full
It's just,
heel
oops,
shit.
oops. It was an oops. Warning. You were seconds from being finished, but warning. It wasn't the worst one I've ever seen, but it isn't great.
Yeah, I mean, the entire card
doesn't happen very often, and it probably won't happen again for a while. It's definitely the worst card they've had since we started doing the show by far.
Yeah,
but also, like I said, they were going in handicapped, man, because they lost so many fights. But
yeah,
what made it the bummer is that the co-main event and the main event are guys that can kill each other. You thought that kill people. They knock people out. All four of those guys knocked people out, and you thought, oh man, these are going to be two great finishes, and they weren't even very exciting decisions. They were okay. I mean, Cyril Gane beat Rozenstruik. He looked great. He did. He looked a whole lot better than Rozenstruik. He looked like the better fighter. It would have been nice if he, pressured a bit more and we got him out of there. Because I mean, he looks so much better than him. You're kind of wondering, like, can't you finish this guy? Because you're showing in 5 rounds that he definitely is better striker than this dude for sure. And he's way better than him on the ground. But it's okay. It's his first main event, and he's only had 8 fights, so I don't give him too much shit for it. He did look really good, but it would have been nice if there was more action in there. But that's on Rozenstruik too. But is what it is. And then again, those guys, the Ukrainian and the Russian dude, same thing there. But it wasn't bad. That wasn't a bad fight. Those are just 2 really skilled guys.
Yeah, and like even the Pedro Munoz fight, that was a pretty fight just because of both guys did come out with and tried really hard to take each other out. I mean, they were that was if you want to talk like manly man fight, like that was definitely what I would call a beefy boy brawl, like just throwing everything behind their punches.
Right. Well, that's the way those guys fight. I mean, they had a good fight their first fight, and then they did this again. I mean, it makes you maybe really wish they kind of switched that card up a bit and made that the main event, because that would have been a good 5-round fight. I think maybe Munoz would have finished him. His Rivera's leg was done for. He did such a great job with those calf kicks. That calf kick is nasty, man. Everyone's using that thing now, and it's really changing the way fights work. And I think they're talking about it just as a joke, like what it's going to be all fighting is now. Stick him in the calf, and you're like, oh, got to make it illegal. They're making a joke about that. Well, the thing about, like, if you watch any sport for a while, the trends come and go. Like, there's been times other sports where things start, or I don't know. I remember when the NFL started really airing the ball out more, and you're like, oh man, this is going to be just football all the time now. And quickly it's became, you can't win in the NFL without running the ball, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, the point is,
Wildcat offense was another one,
right? You still see it a little bit, but at first people couldn't figure it out, right? So all kinds of stuff, right? In all sports, right? Not just in basketball. Happens to basketball a lot, actually. The thing is, people adapt, man. They adapt, right? And baseball is going to happen too with whatever's going on with shifts. Like I always say, if they would have started shifting in the 80s, then it wouldn't be a problem anymore. Because guys, I don't know, in like 10, 20 years, minor league players are going to be incentivized for being able to hit the ball the other way, hit the ball against the shift. So there's going to be less and less shifts when players learn that that's how they have to learn to hit. So
yeah,
like I say, if they would have started this in the 80s, it would already be. I'm not gonna say it wouldn't be around, but it'd be.
Is that when the shift started in baseball?
No, it started like 10 years ago, 10, 15 years ago.
Really?
Yeah, real heavy. Yeah, it was pretty new. Shit's really new. Well, I mean, there's a long time.
It's always been a thing.
If they heavy shifted like in the 70s, then a lot of guys would get thrown at. So
yeah.
That's what I mean, people say, guys like, I mean, I'm not going to take anything away from the legends like Ted Williams, but Ted Williams is a pull hitter. Would he have batted 400 if they shifted on him? I don't know. Probably not. I'm not going to say anything because Ted Williams is one of the GOATs, right? So I'm not going to say no, because the thing is, here's the thing: you can say no, of course not, but the thing is, he never had to adapt. So you can't say he wouldn't be able to. It's unfair to say he wouldn't be able to because he never had to. Pete Rose, if they ever put a shift against him, he would just like slap it on the third baseline. So They
Yeah.
would never shift. I mean, there's some guys they don't shift against, but they shift about a lot of guys. And I think more guys are figuring out how to beat it. But like if it started a long time ago, it would, like I said, most guys, it'd be done by now. And I think eventually it will be. That's just another example. Point is, I'm making with the calf kicks, is guys are going to figure out how to defend them. I mean, right now, people are like, oh, if you try to check them, you get swept off your feet. It's really hard. You can't really do well. They're going to figure it out. You're going to figure it out. It might have to be something drastic. It may be just changing of stances. You might see some different stances in MMA. Maybe a little more square. I don't know.
I could see the Muay Thai. I could see that Muay Thai stance being very effective.
Someone's going to figure it out, and when they do, it's going to be copycat, right? It's like, oh man, this guy figured it out. He was able to check those kicks like no one's been able to check them before. They didn't, right? Or it was able to counter them in a different way just because of whatever he's doing. I don't know what it's going to be. Someone's going to figure it out because you know why? Because they always do. Sports have been going on forever, and it's always been like this in every single sport, right? Things come in, and then people have to figure out how to beat it, and they figure out how to beat it, right? And they come up with the next thing, right? It's offensive and defensively. So so my point is, if you're saying, okay, there's going to be a problem because everyone's going to be leg kicking everybody, then all fights are going to be or just leg kick contests. Wait it out. Wait it out. It may be like that for a minute, but wait it out because people are going to figure it out.
That's something I can't wait to watch more. I mean, and it's been talked about many times.
They're already trying to figure it out. But I mean, it may be so drastic that you might have to change your entire style, like from the ground up. Like you might have to learn a different stance when you start learning.
Well, I mean, up kicks.
I don't know.
Up kicks haven't really been used except for the last maybe 8 years when Anderson Silva started really against Vitor Belfort. People didn't think that was front kicks were always never thought about.
Yeah, there was like a push kick and like a teep. That's about it. Yeah, never did a face until he did it, and then
And I mean, watching the evolution. Who was it? Was it this week or last week? Somebody just kept doing front kicks during their fight. Was it this? I think it was this week. I can't remember the fighter, but it was all like a lot of his offense was up kicks just on distance work. And to see somebody be able to do that artfully, since it wasn't even really thought of to be a thing years ago until fucking that UFC undisputed. I always go back to UFC Undisputed 3 because they added that kick after Anderson Silva and put Anderson Silva on the cover of the UFC Undisputed 3 video game doing the kick to Vitor Belfort right after it happened. I mean, they added that.
It's one of the most common kicks in the game now.
Yeah.
Anyway, but just a year ago, Conor McGregor with the shoulder strikes against Cowboy. You never saw that before, but he did them, and now you see it all the time in the clinch, and it makes sense because it works.
Yeah,
I know. And so my point is, again, just to round it out, that someone's going to figure out what to do. I mean, is calf kick always going to be there? Yeah, but my point is, it's people are going to figure something out. I don't know what, because I'm not the guy who's going to figure it out, but someone will. And it may be drastic. It may have to be something super drastic, like changing your entire stance and your entire gameplay. I don't know, but they're going to figure out some kind of counter to it, or some kind of check, or I don't know, maybe a good takedown off. I don't know anything. I don't know, but it's going to be something. So don't be too worried about it. I mean, it's definitely here to stay, but they'll figure something out because that's how sports work, man. It's always evolving.
And to be honest with you, I mean, the calf kick makes sense way more than like a front kick or like a push kick, because you can throw that bitch just as willy-nilly as you want, because if you're fast enough with it, you'll be able to really see that be a thing where, and it should be. I honestly, instead of a thigh kick, which can, I mean, there's a lot of meat on a lot of guys' thighs. Some guys, you look at John Jones, who has very skinny calves. I mean, although he's just John Jones, beefy boy all day. Now, have you seen those videos?
Oh yeah, he's huge. He's
huge. But
yeah,
like, I think honestly, heavyweights, you want to really go after John Jones, try and attack, see if you can get a calf kick in there.
You know, it's weird that everyone knows they should go after his legs for his entire career, but no one's really been able to do it well. But I don't really know who's been doing those kind of calf kicks. They're still relatively new. I don't remember how many lightweights have been going after it, But I mean, Stipe will. I mean, no, Stipe will do it. I mean, he likes to kick.
Yeah.
So,
and
kicks.
I think that should be a strategy for any heavyweight with John Jones, is the fact that he does have small calves. And I mean, there's not a lot of padding back there. And I subscribe to the idea that actually makes you a little bit faster. Not going to lie. If you look at it, I mean, a lot of guys who have tight wound calves, they can throw a lot more kicks faster than, say, a guy with like, Tim Danko calves or Tim Danko legs.
Well, I don't know about that because I never was great with kicks, but I could tell you where it does matter is triangles, man. I mean, I can't lock up a triangle on anybody. I mean, especially if someone wide, it's tough, man. Because but the thing is, I get you in it, man. And it's tight already because I have big legs. But the thing is, it's like our buddy Andrew Law. He doesn't have big legs, and he can sneak that thing on anything. Anybody. He has a great triangle. He has multiple wins by triangle choke. But yeah, I will tell you that big calves don't angles, but that's okay. I don't need it.
I mean, it's better than show muscle for sure.
Probably.
I mean, we saw that with Alex Hernandez at UFC 258. Or not Alex Hernandez. What was his name?
Anthony Hernandez.
That's it. Still wish I would have bet on that. Still wish I would have fucking bet on that to this
Dude,
day.
no one bet on it, man. It's fine.
There was one person that bet on it. They said it on the fucking thing.
If you would have bet on it, I would have called you crazy.
Yeah.
Even if you won, I would have called you crazy.
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't have seen it happen. I wouldn't have seen it happen, but it would have been nice to have that 32, that plus 32.
Can I just borrow that, like the Back to the Future almanac for like one day? Just one day, I'll be set. Just one day. One day. So I can put everything I have on a 4,000 to 1 something.
This is how much of a fucking psycho I really am. I was sitting on my couch today, sober, because I knew I had a job interview, so I wasn't going to smoke weed until afterwards.
It's probably a good idea.
Very. But all I could think about while I was watching like YouTube was just like, man, if I could just go back in time right now, imagine putting like $150 down on that. Yeah. And doing that as a parlay where it's second round by submission and just watch the money or just look at that check in my hand.
Right. The thing is, I found that parlay calculator and I just went down on like one card and I'm like, what if I picked 10 winners correctly? And I just went all the odds, even guys who were favorites, all of them. And I'm like, yeah, that'd be cool if I could do that. I mean, it's insane how much insane. Even if all the favorites win, if you got all, I mean, it's insane. But that's 10 fights. It's ridiculous.
I'm doing a podcast. I mean,
it'd be fun to try for like $5 because you win a lot on $5 even. I mean, that's parlay. 10 fights is insane.
Oh, I'm doing a podcast with Danny D, who was on the podcast the other day or a couple weeks ago when I was in Vegas. The Gag on This podcast, which was a name before she got there, FYI.
I didn't say anything.
I'm just saying, I mentioned a woman's name and it's called Gag on This. People get ideas. But there's a part of me that's just like when I was there and I saw the odds, I'm like, you've got to be fucking kidding me. Especially after that shitty fixed Ian Heinisch fight, just this fucking those sons of bitches. But yeah, I was getting like really shitty, like on the couch, like depression level, like gambler. Where I'm like, man, if I would have had that would have been nice to have right now. That money, that would have been fantastic just to bet it all on that and see what happens.
Yeah, man, I was trying to win like $3,000, so or 4. Yeah,
$4,000 would have been your bet. But check that podcast out, by the way. Gag on This. Should be a fun podcast. I'm doing that at 9:00 our time, so in another hour I'll be on that, and I think it'll come out in a couple weeks, maybe. I'll share that out when it comes on, man, because I'm excited. It's my first California podcast. They had me sign a fucking release, by the way. Like, we've never I don't get that. I'm not famous enough for a fucking release. Like, I'm not
but I mean, the point is, like, if you say something ridiculous, it's going to get you destroyed on the internet. Like you often have done. You can't like sue them. If you like take this off, you signed a release and said, no, I said something stupid. cancelable. So go ahead and cancel me. That's basically what they're saying. I mean, Rogan makes everybody sign for. I mean, listen, if we hopefully our show gets to a point where we feel like we have to do that for people.
Yeah, we'd have to make money doing it though. That's the thing. It's.
I mean, that'd be cool. I couldn't imagine. It'd be cool. Maybe if we get
it would be. If we do, if we start getting the other place, then it would definitely. Once we move over to something else, I'm gonna look. Hopefully, there's more of a community for it, and we can start making some cash. Because kind of want to do that. I want to quit a job.
All right, big business, Ray Highclack.
Drinking my cab. It's there.
So you care about?
Wait! Oh my God! I found this hat. Oh my God! Everyone, hold on. Wait a minute.
You put a plastic bag over your head.
Put the big business hat on. There, big business. Ray Highclack is in the building.
Where's your monocle? Why are you wearing that? Why do you have that?
Because it was on the desk.
Why do you own it?
My mom bought it for New Year's, I think. Because it says Happy New Year on the. But backwards though, it looks like I'm going to the racetrack in the 20s. They better not.
You look like a pilgrim.
Where's my turkey, wench? I want my turkey. Have you ever seen the movie? Easy Money
Witness
before?
Which one's that? I don't know.
Rodney Dangerfield, Joe Pesci.
I can't remember it.
It's they're basically just degenerates. Like that's all they really are. Like Rodney Dangerfield's character is a baby photographer. Like all he does is like take baby pictures and like birthday photos, all that kind of stuff. And Joe Pesci is like this shitty plumber from like New Jersey. And all he does is drive around in his own van. There's a really funny scene where they're smoking weed in his car in Joe Pesci's work van, and they have a wedding cake and they end up hitting like a pole or something. And the cake just goes flying right into the fucking window. I love that. But my favorite scene in that movie, they're going to the horse track and they see this horse that's like a sure thing, big odds, right? And it goes out in front and you hear Rodney Dangerfield just going like, I'm going to Hawaii. I'm going to Hawaii. And then one of his friends is like, they're slowing down because the guy, like the jockey and like the carriage or whatever is like putting his feet back like in the dirt to like slow the horse down. And you hear him go, he's slowing down. I'm not going to Hawaii. It's one of my favorite gambling scenes because it is the perfect analogy for like a guy who's like on the top. He's got all the money in the world. Like I thought Ian Heinrichs kind of had a shot. Like I watched a couple of his fights. I watched a couple of his things. When he fucking got him in the rear naked is when I really was like, oh my God, there's hope for the world. And then nope. Like just Dean Ambrose meme. Nope. Like it just sucked.
Could you imagine if Heinrich would have won that fight? Like what our reaction would have been when Burns like stunned Usman? Jeez, probably would have.
Oh my God.
Anyway,
the Strat would have had to pay me out.
You ever hear Pete Rose talk about his worst beat?
No, but I was apparently that link. Tell me the story.
It was in Cincinnati, apparently, way back in the day, this horse track. And apparently his horse was up by, I don't know, what do they call it? Legs? A lot. He was up by a lot.
Yeah.
He was cruising.
It's a leg. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, he was cruising. So he was going to win. Right. And apparently, like, there weren't great barriers at the time of this racetrack. So actually, apparently a deer ran onto the track and has collided with the horse. The horse and jockey both fall over. And everybody whizzes past this horse because he had him by a mile. Then it's out of nowhere, a deer comes and just tackles his horse. I'm like, that's what would happen to Ray and I if we had.
Oh, that hurts. Like that would be, I would contemplate suicide at that point. I'd be like, the world just hates me. God is not on my side. It's over, man. It's like how many people? Who was the horse years ago in the Triple Crown that broke his leg? This was like 2005 or 6. And this thing had won the Kentucky Derby, was out by miles. All of a sudden, it gets in like a little bit of a scrum with like the number 2, and it goes face first and broke its leg. And I mean, that's just like the people that had to bet on that horse, and all of a sudden just like snap like their hopes. Just, oh my God, that would be the worst. Have you ever bet on horses before?
Nah. I mean, the only time I watch horse racing at all is I watch the Triple Crown races, if I can remember they're on, right? But even then, it's like you turn it on, and I'm like, is it started yet? No. And then like I wait for a minute, and then I turn it back on, and I missed it. You know, it's a 2-minute race, so it's. But I am interested in it. I mean, it'd be cool if I had money. I'd have a racehorse, probably. I don't know why, but I think it'd be kind of cool. That's what I'd name one.
Me too. Yeah, that was always a dream of mine. Was like own a racehorse. Just because, like, I also like how some of the guys that own racehorses look like they own slaves. Like, they're just, like, the best dressed human beings in the world. And
Rob
you're like,
Gronkowski,
yeah, that's what the
he has a
1%
horse.
looks like. Like
Rob Gronkowski has a horse.
Rob Gronkowski.
He had a good horse, too. I think, I don't think it won, but it ran one of the Triple Crown races, and I think it may have showed, maybe. I think it's
really.
Yeah, it had a good one. And I think, what company has one? Audacity has their own horse, and it was another also good horse. Yeah,
Audacity has their own horse.
Yeah, it's called Audacity.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting. I don't know whose idea that was, or like who's all in on that. Does everyone have shares in the horse? I don't know. It's interesting. I mean, listen, I would love to have a Plata horse. I would, but it's not going to happen unless someone says, I got a horse. You want to name it Bro Plata? And
no.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
No. We would not call it Bro Plata. I have the exact name of what we would call it. And it would be Explain Your Titty.
Explain Your Titty. I don't know if they'd let us name it that, but maybe we spell it with D's. Tiddy. Titty.
Explain Your Diddy.
Explain your P Diddy. Speaking of P Diddy, there's a new documentary. There's a documentary on Notorious B.I.G. on Netflix. I haven't watched it yet.
Is there?
Yeah, I'll get to it.
I might have to check that out. What can I be honest with you?
No, please don't.
Well, no. Biggie compared to Tupac. I like Tupac way more than I like Biggie. I don't know how you feel on that, but like for some reason, catalog wise, it's way better.
Yeah, I only know like the big singles from both of them. I'm not follow either of them very much. I know who they were. I know they unfortunately died very, very young, murders. But no, I don't know much about them. I respect them very much for what they did for the Rat Game. I know I know that much, but I don't know their catalog or anything very well.
Yeah, I mean that's like I look at a guy like Biggie's catalog and a lot of his hits, and they don't really, pun intended, hit me very good as much as like the Tupac hits. Like the Tupac hits for some reason I just adore. Like they're just so good. And even like See No Changes after he died, I thought that was really good. But I don't know. Like, and then P. Diddy's version of I'll Be or Missing You. I'm like, did you have to use a Police song? Like, why?
Yeah,
why are you using
that? Yeah,
the dulcet tones of Sting?
Right. That was they didn't. They had someone else sing it, but they used that song. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I
think they may even changed the words a little bit too. I think, but listen, now that I think about it, that's a good sample. That dun 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 dun. Yeah, that's not bad. It's okay. But yeah, it's a Police song. But Sting got his money. So
I mean, I would hope so.
Yeah,
I would hope so,
for
my
sure.
friend.
For sure. Yeah, but I don't really have too much skin in that game at all. Oh, I do want to say this is important, man. Okay, so I talked about that Czech dude. Yeah. All right, I want to make sure that people know, like, it's not like I looked up this dude's background. Okay. So this guy ends up being a monster. Okay. And I said he was my hero. Okay. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, all I know about this guy is he broke that record for ice swimming. All right. So I know. And the reason I bring that up, because there was a dude I was actively trying to get on this podcast. I got hold of him through his Facebook group or his personal fan page, Facebook. And when we had Gene Walker on, I don't know if this was on air or not, but because Gene's from Iowa, this guy's from Iowa, we asked if he could get a hold of him for us, but he didn't really know him either. Anyway, Travis Fulton is a guy who has an unbreakable record. I call him like the Cy Young of MMA because he has a record no one's going to break. 300 plus fights, like 250 and 50, something like that is his record. Insane amount of fights. No one's ever going to have that many fights. It's going to be impossible because he was in the day of all these crazy tournaments, multiple fights in a night, multiple fights in a week. Like it's not going to happen anymore to anybody. No. It's impossible. It's not going to happen. For that, I have a lot of respect for the dude. Well, turns out, I'm going to say alleged.
And what's his name again?
Travis Fulton.
That's it.
The Iron Man, Travis Fulton. This guy got indicted on child pornography charges. So, turns out that he's allegedly one of the biggest monsters you can possibly be. Allegedly. Because I don't know anything about it. But I will say this. I don't want to have him on the show as bad as I did before. He's one of the first people I tried to get. One of the first people I tried to get. So when we saw that, I'm like, man, we're glad we didn't get him because then we have to go back and delete our episode.
Yeah, that would have not been. Let's bring up his mugshot too, because I looked at his mugshot, and I'm not gonna lie when I say this.
And this, like, no, I don't think anyone had it. Okay, well, the way now in hindsight, sure, dude, there's a lot of people. Dude,
look at that face.
That's not a good shot. But he also looks like a fighter, though, especially that side profile. Yeah, this guy. Yeah, it's a bummer. Well, number one, that's anyone who has that shit is a bummer. But the guy who has the record.
He looks
for
like
most
a heavyweight Joe Exotic.
Kinda, he is kinda. Except probably not gay, just pervert.
Oh no, he's definitely a perv. I'm not saying he's gay.
Well,
he's definitely a perv.
Alleged pervert. We'll give him that benefit of the doubt. This is America, but
he was indicted.
I don't know anything else about the charges, but it's I think we dodged a bullet not being able to get him on because, like I said, I didn't want to have to be like, well, we didn't know at the time, which is true. I mean, we always said no one knew, right?
Yeah.
I mean, geez, it's maybe people close to him. I don't know. I don't know. Things like that. That's something you kind of keep close to the vest, right?
I would assume.
You would assume. I don't know. You're right. I'm assuming. Those are like hard underground network kind of things, I guess. I don't know. It's gross. It's one of the grossest possible. They're probably the grossest nonviolent crime. I mean, it still counts as a nonviolent crime because if you didn't touch anyone, but it's so gross. It's not even fun to think about. Sorry to move the show down. The point is, we dodged a bullet not having Travis Fulton on, but I am admitting that we did try to have him on. But we didn't know anything about that. Of course not.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing about like a guy like Travis Fulton and guys like that in general, they're usually the ones that can put on that face outside of, outside of their houses, which is the worst fucking thing. I mean, it's very scary to know that guys like there's recently a friend of mine had one of her close friends had run in with a guy that now is caught, luckily, but he was a music teacher. And the guy was just pedoing his way through the fucking world. And you're like, how the fuck do you not feel guilty and not turn yourself in if you know you did it? That's the one thing. Like we've probably been in situations that we feel kind of off about and all that kind of stuff.
I mentioned one on this podcast before when I was 18 and we Alan, who was talking to us earlier, we should have talked about this when he was listening to the show because he was with me. We were at the Vienna Boys Choir compound in Vienna, Austria. Yeah, I've talked about this on the show before.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, it was just weird. It was weird. And when we heard years later that there was stuff going on, I'm like, yeah, it doesn't surprise anyone because it's just a weird vibe there.
Yeah, man. For people not to feel, and I've had times where I've left girls' houses where I'm like, even I feel weird about what happened, kind of thing.
What do you mean? Hold on, you have to elaborate a bit.
Nothing where it's like total that can put.
Well,
me
it's
in
because
jail.
of what we were talking about. You have to elaborate because
you
just said that in a different
an
context,
awkward
maybe
make out, or
okay.
even sometimes sometimes you have sex with somebody and you're like,
okay,
you don't force anybody, but it's still kind of
you
get
awkward.
that weird feeling to it,
Just what you in the context in which you said it.
I'm saying in the context of it, but you still feel remorse about those things where you're like, that was weird for both of us. Like, I don't really want to ever do that again. Guys like Travis Fulton will do that over and over and over again without learning a lesson. You know what I'm saying? Without actually knowing that something is wrong or that grooming is completely fucked. I mean, that kind of stuff too. But child porn, I don't know how those guys sleep at night with that shit on their computers. I really don't. It's disturbing to me.
Yeah, that's one of those. Man, this is going to be weird the way I say it.
And I've been a victim, and I'll admit this. I've been a victim of that kind of stuff with that, not child porn, but had a handsy family friend, and it's horrible. It's a horrible feeling. You feel like shit. And I was a little kid, like very little when this stuff was going on. But through therapy and stuff like that, I've kind of brought those feelings out. And plus, I will say this, and this may bring up the mood. I outlived the guy because he committed suicide. So fuck you. But great parents, by the way. The parents were amazing, but the kid was a piece of shit. But I don't know how somebody can do that and not feel remorse. It bothers me that those people exist, and even adults. If you're a grown adult and you're a serial rapist or somebody that's does shit and constantly, I don't know how you sleep at night. I really don't know how you don't have guilt over that kind of shit.
Well, a lot of them don't. We talked about the person you're talking about ended up committing suicide. So the answer is it couldn't really.
Yeah.
Right? It's one of those things that if I don't want to make them seem like the victims. However, I just think it's very strange.
They're not the victims, though.
No.
It should never.
No. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying if anyone even has those thoughts, it's one of those things that they couldn't even get help with because of how just evil it is. You can't even say, I think of this. How do I get this stuff to stop happening? Because if you tell anyone that, then you're on a list, man. Just for telling.
Yeah.
You. So
you're Jesus from The Big Lebowski.
Right, that's right. You can't even
better ass, dude.
Right. Do you see that the Jesus rolls?
No, I have not seen the Jesus.
I haven't seen it yet. I haven't seen it yet either. I haven't. It's on Showtime. I can watch it whenever, but I haven't seen it yet. I'll give it a look.
But yeah, man, I don't get guys like that. And even in that photo, he looked like he had nothing. Like he didn't regret anything he did.
Yeah. However, man, he's always looked like that. And I've seen a million pictures with the dude. Did not think pedophile when I saw it before. I only look at it in hindsight. So I mean, but yeah, sure. But thing is, you get a pass being a weird looking dude if you can fight. There's a lot of weird looking dudes who can fight, bro.
You're way more forgiving than I am.
Well, I mean, he did get a pass until now. I'm saying. I mean, he got a pass looking weird when he was just a fighter, right? But not anymore, right? Like Tanner Bowser with his weird beard and his mullet. A lot of guys. There's a lot of guys. John Gunther. We love John Gunther. I should love
John Gunther. Is not a weird man, sir. He's just an amazing.
Talk about his mustache. No, he's a man. I love John Gunther. Do you know about his weird rivalry with the Brazilian jiu-jitsu guy, Emil Fischer? They had this weird
No, but the
Facebook back
fact
and
that
forth.
that exists makes me happy.
I know that they go after each other hard, and it's really hilarious. And I don't know how much they really do like or hate each other, but they go at each other hard. And I wish I would have asked John about it. I didn't know about it until recently.
That's funny. Should have did your research.
Yeah, I know.
Danko.
What are you gonna
do mine.
Yeah. Sure.
But I think this is we should call it a night, my friend. Especially ending it on child pornography charges. It's the best way to end it, really. If you think about it.
I'm trying to think what. Oh, hold on. There's something else.
Ooh. Yes, sir.
Yeah. I mean, Hamzat retired.
Did he? I got a thing.
Well, he said he did. Yeah.
Well, I mean, obviously, with what's going on, and yeah, I think this is something we can definitely end the show on because it's something I want to talk about because of the fact that even, let me see here. I got a screen cap from my buddy who's an MMA fan. This is from Dana White at MMA Junkie. I don't know how old this post is, or no. This was from today, 55 minutes ago. Or no, this was from yesterday because it was 11:46 p.m. According to his thing. He went in and fucking trained today. This is from Dana White. Felt like shit, got super emotional, and posted that he's not supposed to be training, but this guy's a savage. He wants to fight like every fucking weekend, and now he can't even train, so he's just emotional and posted about it. But he ain't quitting. That's according to Dana White.
This is also coming from Dana. No one's ever actually retiring White. Like he's still insisted. Like you remember how hard he
watched my 2020 video, White.
Right. You remember how insistent he was that there's no way Habib was retiring. I mean, he was like hardcore insistent on it. However, in this case, I think he's probably right. I mean, this guy's real young, and he's been sick, and he's had he's not right. If that's true, if he's on a bunch of meds and he's not supposed to be training, and he felt like garbage, and he's like to the point that he's like, I can't fight anymore. I'm too, does the sickness ruin me? I can't fight anymore. He's not supposed to be training. He's supposed to be resting. So I'm assuming this is gonna pass. I'm assuming. I mean, he's very young. He's very young, so I would be very surprised.
I would hope he would let everything kind of go between, see what happens, how he feels. Give it a year. Shit, the man had COVID, and we've talked about Cody Garbrandt as well. He's had blood clots because of COVID-19. And for Hamzat to come out, I do feel like it's a bit of a knee-jerk reaction because how old is Hamzat? He's in what, mid-20s?
At least he might be younger. I think he's maybe like 23. He's pretty young.
Oh God, how does somebody look older than us? But I think it's just Russian genes.
Right? They look the same age for like 50 years. Yeah, Fedor has looked however old he is now since he's been 20, but he'll probably look like that for another 20 years.
Yeah, so, and I mean, you look at a guy like Hamzat Himayev, who the power that he's generated in his fights from knocking out guys with one punch. And just being the guy that he is, you would have to think we don't know that much about COVID-19 or even like we know that the last 2 weeks and all that stuff. We don't know the after effects. It could be a year and he could be back to 100% with the right medications, the right shit. And I like the sentiment, thinking like, oh, I have to retire because I can't do this anymore. But like, give yourself time, man. Like, give yourself time to recover from such a late. Plus, we don't know what has he ever explained any underlying health effects?
No, I don't think so. Not that we know of.
Because I was saying that to my buddy when it talked about like Hamzat retiring. I'm like, well, I mean, he could have had sometimes people with, and I hate to say this, and pardon me for saying this, but people with hair lips tend to have some stuff wrong with them besides just the hair lip.
Like what?
You'd have to think there has to be something else to be able to cause that deformity.
Why? It's a physical defect.
I'm aware, but that also could be caused with something internal, maybe like developmentally or something like that.
Where are you getting this from?
I'm guessing.
Are you pulling this out of your ass? Are you pulling this out of your ass?
I admit that. Like you have to, I'm more defending
because to me it doesn't make any
Hamzat.
sense. I'm not a doctor either, but it's something
I'm defending
physical.
Hamzat. I'm not saying that
I don't
I'm
think
not
he's gonna
saying
retire.
that the hair lip
He's
is
not
the
gonna
whole
retire.
fucking thing, but he might have some kind of underlying health effect that living, especially where he's
All right,
fucking
big
lived his
business.
entire life. I mean, it's not. Where's he? He's from. Is he from? He's not from Dagestan, is he?
No, it's from Chechnya.
Yeah,
Remember,
those
because we talked
people.
about
Those people have been
Chechnya.
irradiated by the Russian government a bunch of times. So who knows? Like, oh come on!
No,
Don't defend.
no, no,
Don't
no, no,
defend
no.
the
That's
Russian government
no,
and
no,
the
no, no, no. That's
USSR.
what I'm talking about. I'm just thinking about Chechnya. I mean, that's the least of the We talked about Chechnya and what they do to people who are different over there, and it's not okay.
Yeah,
It's a dark, dark place. I mean, a lot of
yeah,
Russia, but especially Chechnya. It's not. I mean, they torture. It's what to say. They torture gay people,
yeah.
and it's violent and disgusting.
And why is that? Certain religions that are in Chechnya who don't like gays and throw them off of buildings. But that's just me.
Yeah, but there's other religious people in the same religion that are tolerant people.
Yeah, but no
it's just
Christian is doing that. No Christian throws a fucking person off a building. Maybe every
Are you
10
saying
years.
are you saying that no Christians have persecuted gays?
Oh, I'm not saying that, sir. I'm
Okay,
just saying the certain thing that would make me Islamophobic. They're not very tolerant. Like a gay person can, or a Christian person can change their mind about gay people. Fucking the Muslims do not.
There's some hardcore people that are probably Christians that don't. The reason they don't do that stuff is because they probably want to get away with it. I mean, have you seen Red State? Great movie.
Yeah,
that's what Red State's about.
Great Kevin Smith movie. That's a fantastic Kevin Smith movie. Robert Englund, sir.
Were you the one who told me you didn't see that? Who told me they didn't see it?
I've seen bits and pieces.
It was you. Watch it. It's good.
Yeah.
It's good. Michael Parks, fantastic. He's so good in that.
John Goodman's in it.
Yeah. I wanted to read. I feel like it would be a disservice if I didn't read this headline I just saw.
Ooh.
Former UFC champ infiltrates ghetto, steals back car in dead of night.
Who is that champion?
Luke Rockhold.
Yes, Luke Rockhold's the man. Getting that tactical, son.
Turns out Rockhold and his squad of surf bros ventured into the quote-unquote ghetto to steal back his friend's car, which had gone missing in Tulum? I don't know.
Tulum, yeah.
And just like an episode of The A-Team, Johnny Law was either unwilling or unavailable when it came time to help. And there's a whole quote from him. Yeah, we're going to have to get into that a little bit more next time. But that's something.
We'll talk about it Friday on the podcast.
Luke Rockhold, man, you are a relative. You're a celebrity in some circles, and you're a good-looking dude. So maybe a couple different circles. He's also a model, right? He has a big internet presence. Why didn't you have a GoPro on when you did that shit, brother? It's not quite legal. Not quite legal, right?
I mean, if you're taking a car back.
I don't think that's legal either. Especially, I mean, I don't know. What are the law? I'm sure it's probably differs through state. What are you trying to say, man? If you get on someone's property and steal back your own vehicle?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's exactly 100%. No, hold on. No, okay. Now we're talking about Texas. Case in California. Okay. This illegal anywhere to be California. Texas. What is the thing about Texas? You go on someone's property, even to retrieve your stolen property. That guy shoots you. Very confusing. I don't know.
I would think, I mean, if the VIN matches, I would assume they would look at the VIN if they got the car back and somebody reported the car stolen. But if the VIN matches the same name as the guy taking it back, you can say, fuck you, it was my car. Unless they got like some kind of weird forgery deed or title or something like that. But I mean, that car is always registered in even the VIN.
We need to find a lawyer that will come talk to us. Not about this, but just stuff in general.
I'd be down.
Right? On doctors too. We'd be trying to get. I mean, I don't think Brian Strutter will come on our show, but maybe not yet. We'll have to wait. You know, I know there's some people, a lot of guests that want that. I know.
A little faith.
I know we have to wait for some. That's okay. And the thing is, eventually we're going to get one that's above our pay grade, right? We almost had it with Mark Hunt. He's a good guest to get right now, right?
Yes.
Eventually. I mean, listen, if you ever call Pat Miletich back, that's one, and he'll give us some credibility, and eventually we'll get somebody else, throw us a bone, and that will help. But then we'll get those people like that we can have on. But that Brian Strutter guy has this great video about why calf kicks are so nasty. Like
Oh
what it
yeah.
does to your anatomy. It's really, really cool. I was going to try to explain it before, but I can't remember. Check out this video. It's a lot better than me trying to explain it. But the thing is, it's nasty. It makes it even seem, even when he explains it, it's like, wow, that's even nastier than I thought it was. It's bad.
And I mean, if you even look at Jimmy Rivera's leg after it's all over, I mean, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I want to know how he was walking the next day. Probably not well.
Yeah, it's weird because it's not just you're hitting a muscle. It's more than that. Like I said, I can't remember. Look it up and just listen to a doctor.
Ladies and gentlemen, sorry to interrupt you, Tim, but ladies and gentlemen, it is 8:30, and I will be on the Gag on This podcast here soon. Check that episode out. We made an episode way more entertaining than UFC Vegas 20 could ever be. That's right. Even our cat, the bro cat, Cookie, she is here.
Hi, Cookie.
But we are the bro Plata. Tim, give the people any socials that they can see you on.
It's at Dig Danko.
Do you have any shows coming up?
No, you know what? I'll probably be up there Thursday with you if I can't.
Okay.
No, that's 2 days. Yeah, I could probably swing that.
I'm gonna
make a point. I'm gonna make a point to come up. The only thing is, man, I come up one show, I'm drinking beer, then I got to figure out how much beers I can. You know what though? There's no curfew, so I can hang out.
Yes, you can sober up finally.
That's true. I forgot about that, so that's good. So yeah, probably then. I don't know if I'll be up or not, but I'm gonna try to get early enough to.
I appreciate it, and it's gonna be
What time is that show, man?
It is 8:00 for Thursday. There is a co-feature contest going on that day.
Oh, there is? Damn it.
There is, yeah. So let me bring up Mania Jax on my.
It doesn't matter. I just maybe I could. I don't know, man. I'll still come probably. I do get bummed out when I can't go up when I go up there. But
they haven't even put out the this week's, which makes me sad. Bill Stone, get on that shit. Bill Stone, get on fucking making goddamn posters, motherfucker. You piece of shit. I'm going to start an online feud with Bill Stone. I'm kidding. I love Bill Stone. He's an awesome guy. But yeah, Aaron Berg is where you can catch me this Thursday, March 4th, hosting for the amazing Aaron Berg from In Hot Water on Compound Media, which is getting a little bit of flux right now. Not gonna lie, if you've been following the Compound Medias, they have a little bit of influx going on right now, and I'm pretty sure they'll be able to
find somebody else.
Oh yeah, you guys you find another guy, and all of a sudden you get on Compound Media. I'd be like, you fucks, how dare you?
Probably gonna be Brennan, right?
He was on the show today. He was on the Anthony.
Yeah, I mean, I know he won. I it's weird. I know this. I forget how I knew this for something else. No, it was that back in the day when him and Landau had that crazy feud on air, and
and they tried to fight him at the. I think it was
so funny. That was hilarious. Anyway, I know that he said he wanted that job. He wanted Lando's job, so he probably wants it now still. So
well, he was on today with Anthony, so
that's my guess. Calling it right now, Nostradanko.
Nostradanko.
I know nothing about this, but this is a pretty good guess.
But also, if you want to subscribe to Compound Media, I feel like I have to do this just because I love Aaron Berg and I want to stroke his big bald cock off.
You do. It's actually funny how hard you go on this.
Well, no, I want to be on one day. That's my goal, is to be on Compound Media.
I know you're not. I mean, I'll take it, but I'm not going to do what you're doing. That's your job.
Make sure to use these promo codes for 1, 6, and 12 months, 20% off for each one. CM 1 month, CM 6 month, and CM 12 months will get you 20% off Compound Media subscriptions. I got the year. I'll be resubscribing soon. Once my new job starts up, I will definitely be subscribing for the 12 month. Because I love Compound Media, it's one of my favorite comedy podcast networks out there. But this March 4th, this coming Thursday, Aaron Berg, and then also 5 and 6, he will be with Joe Howard and I believe Tony Mazer, if I believe so, hosting for the weekend. I'm doing the Thursday show, and I'm really excited for that. And I will post also for my next weekend that I'm going to be hosting at the Funny Stop. Go support them. They're a great club. Go support Hilarities. Go support the Cleveland Improv, your local club, whichever one it is. Make sure that you can at least give the comedians a reason to live. We appreciate you guys so much. We will see you Friday to break down UFC 259 coming up. It'll be a huge one coming into UFC 260 with our boy Stipe Miocic in the main event of that one.
That's 260, man. What are you talking about?
No, I'm set, but going into 260.
All right, man. That's fine.
I said going into.
We've been done for 15 minutes, man. What the hell?
We have, but we wound up eking out another 15, and I'm very happy about
most of it was your outro. That's, man, you are just.
But I'm plugging so we can possibly get somewhere. To my left is always the sexy Tim Danko. I'm Ray Highclack, and always remember, we will see you at the Kumite, motherfuckers.
Dude, you have to be the king of like the verbal jack-offs. You have to be.